Hi everybody and welcome back, and thanks for spending a little time with us on this Friday. But really, where else would you rather be besides inside and maybe in front of the TV, because it is just nasty outside. It is just cold and it's wet, and now it's dark and it's not going to get any better, except to say that we might see a few flakes. We're expecting a changeover a little later on tonight. I'll tell you more about that in just a second, but we are expecting some rain to go to mix, to go to snow, a gradual change that's going to happen from the northwest to the southeast, and of course it's going to happen first in those upper elevations and on ridge tops. But most all of us watching the show where we are, we'll see less than an inch. Those upper elevations might see an inch, maybe a little more of white stuff before it's all said and done. And it's not to say that it may not cause some problems. We're talking about roads, bridges, overpasses, walkways, all becoming possibly slushy and snow-covered and slippery, of course, during the overnight hours. A word of caution, of course, would be wise. There might be a chance of a little remaining snow in the morning that might kind of loop around, give us a little extra snow, but I think that's mainly reserved as well for those upper elevations, and more so folks around the Virginia border. There is some more snow in your forecast, actually possible at times from Sunday into Tuesday, again Wednesday night into Thursday, and there might even be a little accumulation with that, maybe even more so than what we may or may not see in the next 24 hours or less. I'll update your forecast in more detail in just a few moments. Headlines tonight include some money coming back to ratepayers through Kentucky Power, millions of dollars in all. We'll tell you how and why, and so much when maybe as well. And also, as the trial date, which is still set for the civil lawsuit filed as it pertains to the November election in McGoffin County, as it approaches and gets closer, more paperwork being filed, public record painting more of a picture as to what John Montgomery is alleging in his suit. There's been a couple of things happening on that front in the past several hours, and I'll have some details for you before we leave. And high school basketball in full swing tonight and around the viewing area. We'll get you caught up to date as well. Scores, stats, things of that nature. And some folks to brag on, and I've got a whole lot of ground to cover before we leave you this evening. We'll start off with that report concerning Kentucky Power, where Attorney General Jack Conway and his Office of Rate Intervention, along with the Kentucky Industrial Utility Customers Organization, KIUC for short, have today jointly announced that they have saved Eastern Kentucky ratepayers some $54 million in what they say were unlawful fuel costs charged by the Kentucky Power Company, the result of a successful intervention in a utility case previously brought before the Kentucky Public Service Commission.
In the order issued by the Public Service Commission, they deemed the fuel costs unreasonable and directed Kentucky Power to refund ratepayers some $13.2 million that it had already collected during the first 4 months of last year. Additionally, the Public Service Commission barred Kentucky Power from collecting an estimated $41 million in additional fuel costs that was to be collected through the end of May of this year. They say over a 17-month period, the average residential customer will save about $155. Kentucky law allows electric generating utilities to bill ratepayers for the reasonable cost of fuel required to run the generating plants on a monthly basis, and those charges appear on each of our bills monthly. In today's order, citing joint testimony from the Office of the Attorney General and the PSC, it ruled that the Kentucky Power Company violated their PSC precedent and prior orders in the process it uses to determine fuel charges for ratepayers. And additionally, in 2013, the Public Service Commission authorized Kentucky Power to purchase 50% or half interest in the Mitchell Power Plant in West Virginia to replace the number 2 generating unit at Big Sandy in Louisa. In its order, they criticized Kentucky Power for failing to disclose the impact that its allocation of fuel costs would have on its ratepayers during the period when both the Mitchell plant and the Big Sandy plant were both operational.
Attorney General Conway had already previously opposed Kentucky Power's plan to buy the Mitchell plant as a replacement for the Big Sandy Unit Number 2 and appealed the Public Service Commission's decision to the Franklin Circuit Court. That appeal is still pending. And so are more headlines after these words. As I said at the start of the program, as the February 2nd trial date gets a little closer in the case of John Montgomery versus Charles Hardin and the Board of Elections, we are continuing to get a little more information as it's made public as it pertains to that case in the form tonight of two motions. One filed on behalf of Montgomery, a request for all absentees and signature rosters which were seized by the Attorney General's office shortly after the election, and another asking the special judge in the case to, based on the information submitted, award him the victor, basically, and declare him the winner of the November election.
In asking the court for summary judgment to award him the case of Montgomery versus Hardin and the McGoffin County Board of Elections, Montgomery's request cites numerous irregularities with a large number of the absentee ballots as to how they were obtained, significant errors in many of them, and how they were handled and counted. The motion specifically asserts the failure of the McGoffin County Court Clerk, Renee Shepard, and the McGoffin County Board of Elections to follow the structures of Kentucky statute as it pertains to absentee voting. He claims that as a result of those failures, the motion cites 1,145 people voting absentee in the November election in McGoffin County, but that only 1,092 applications for absentees exist, resulting in 55 less applications than there were actual ballots presented. Of 910 of those submitted applications, 83% did not have Social Security numbers attached by the individuals who were requesting them. 463 of the applications, or about 42% of all submitted applications, didn't have any phone numbers attached to them. 354 applications, or about 32%, didn't have any details or information as to where the voter was claiming they were going to be on Election Day and thus have a reason for voting absentee. In addition, 59 mail-in applications, he says, had envelope irregularities. 8 applications did not state who was requesting them at all, and 3 had no signature at all. And Montgomery's motion also says that some applications suffered multiple defects, a combination of some or all of these situations.
In earlier sworn deposition in the case, Judge Charles Hardin was asked what he thought was the reason for the large discrepancy in absentee votes between himself and Montgomery. Hardin stated on record that he had been a physician here for more than 30 years. Many of his patients were elderly, and the pipe fitters and tradesmen from here were mainly Democrats. Also, that they knew he supported the unions, as he did. In a separate motion, Judge Preston did rule today upon a request filed on behalf of John Montgomery. That request to have access to any and all absentee votes and signature rosters which were taken into possession by the Attorney General's office just shortly after the election. After some consideration, he granted that motion and entitled Montgomery to full access to those materials. We'll have more information as it becomes available. That takes me to a moment where we need to recognize some folks for another job well done. I got the following information earlier today that says the Harold Whitaker Middle School academic team recently competed at the Governor's Cup District Academic Competition held in Jackson. This was a few days ago on the 17th, and they placed second overall and will compete at the regional competition on Saturday the 31st.
It says the following students placed in the top 5 and advanced to regional competition in math. Second place, Jay McDaniel. Third place, Leah Bailey in social studies. Second place, Jesse Brown. Science, third place, Jay McDaniel. Fifth place, Cassidy Lovely. In written composition, second place to Leah Bailey. Fourth to Destiny Brown. Fifth to Alexis Fletcher. In language arts, fourth to Cassidy Lovely. Fifth place to Keenan Conley. In arts and humanities, Mac Parsons. Mark is his dad. Fourth place and fifth place, Adam McCoon. Also, the quick recall team consisting of Jay McDaniel, Keenan Conley, Jesse Brown, Caleb Porter, Adam McCoon, Aaron Boland, Patience Murrell, and Destiny Brown captured second place. And the future problem-solving team consisting of Cassidy Lovely, Aaron Boland, Michael Salyer, and Adam McCoon placed second. The team is coached by Della Minix and Tim Kane, and they've worked very hard, very obviously, and we wish them continued success as they advance to the regional. And the following birthday wish as we start off calendar announcements brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau is a bit of a testament as to the week that most all of you are very well aware that I've had this week. I honestly can't tell you if I wish this young lady a very happy birthday on Wednesday or not. I'm thinking not. I'm pretty sure not, but I'm going to do it again just to make sure I cover all my bases. It says, could you please wish Chloe Jade Salyer a very happy birthday? Now belated. It was Wednesday the 21st. She'll be 12. From Mom, Dad, and Lakota. Very, very happy birthday wishes go out to Chloe Jade Salyer, and maybe belated ones, and more than likely they are, from us here as well. Happy birthday to you. And a birthday wish that I have just in and not typed up goes out to David Johnson tonight. David is 34, if I'm not mistaken, today. From a host of friends and family and us here at the newsroom, we want to wish him a very happy birthday as well. Happy birthday to you, David. Calendar announcements, of which I don't have any except for birthdays tonight, that may have only happened 1 or 2 times in 17 years, 16 years and counting. Nevertheless, if you want to send me a calendar announcement and fill the gap, which I'm sure we won't have that problem next week, mail it, phone, fax, email, Facebook it, or drop it off here at the newsroom, and we'll let everyone know what you have planned or whose special day it is. A reminder of a service to be held tomorrow at noon for 66-year-old Carter Ray Castle of Gunlock, survived by brother Danny Castle and sisters Haley Shepard, Helen King, Hazel Bradley, and Maisie Harris. A memorial service in his honor is to take place tomorrow at noon at the McGoffin County Funeral Home Chapel. Military rights are going to be given by the Sagersville chapter of the DAV, Chapter 15. In lieu of flowers, you can make donations and contributions to the Sagersville Chapter 15 of the DAV. 92-year-old Shelby Howard of Lick Creek passed away on Wednesday. He's survived by his wife, Kathleen Boland Howard, sons Ellis and Wallace, and a daughter, Geraldine Gamble. Visitation is this evening and all day tomorrow, and up until services they've been set for this Sunday beginning at 1, with all of which being from the McGoffin County Funeral Home Chapel, and burial to take place at the Buffalo Cemetery at the head of Buffalo following services. And one last announcement I've been asked to relay this evening. It comes in loving memory of Hatton and Dorothy Allen, 2 very special people who are missed more with every passing year by their children, grandchildren, and all that knew them.
More to come, including a little information on a lot of bad weather. It's not terrible. It's just not nice. It could be much, much worse in all reality. Your updated forecast for the viewing area specifically in just a second. Right now, specifically, who's been doing how well on the hardwood. We're talking about high school basketball scores for teams from the viewing area and see who's playing tonight. And games are going on tonight and over the course of the weekend.
Checking in on Coach McKenzie and his Golden Eagles, they were at home last night and sent home Sheldon Clark with a loss, 82-71, and they are sitting just behind Sheldon Clark in 15th Region basketball. Sheldon Clark at 15-2 on the season, only 2 losses. One came last night at Central, and then Johnson Central at 14-8 on the season. They're also at Breathitt County tomorrow night at 7:30, as the Golden Eagles have had a great season, and so has Sheldon Clark. As for the Lady Eagles, they had a win earlier this week as well, on the road at Pike Central by 5, 68-63, and right now they're even on the season. 9 wins, 9 losses, 2 wins in district play, and 1 loss. The Lady Eagles of Johnson Central are at East Ridge tonight at 7:30, and they are playing. I don't think the weather's going to be an issue for them. It's going to be a little later for there any problems associated with any changeover, so games going on tonight as scheduled. And that includes the McGoffin County Hornets. The boys are on the road tonight. This comes after a win. They had dropped 5 in a row. Last night, though, they picked up a win on the road at Belfry, 73-61. They're still behind even, though, on the season. 8 wins, 11 losses, and they're 1-3 in district play, but they're on the road tonight at Morgan County. Tip-off set for 7:30. They may have a hard go. Morgan County's not having a bad year themselves. I'll get to them and the Cougars in a few moments. Let's check in with our McGoffin County Lady Hornets real quick. A win over Allen Central on Wednesday night, 64-32. It was a home game that I could not make it to, but they are on the road tomorrow night. They'll be at Valley. This game is set for 6 o'clock tomorrow. And the ladies right now from McGoffin County, 8-9 on the season. They're even in district play at 2 wins and 2 losses. And they're sitting behind Central, Sheldon Clark, Paintsville, Pikeville, Prestonsburg, Valley, and East Ridge in 15th Region matchups, or makeups, I should say. Paintsville and the Tigers and Coach Runyon narrowly lost to Allen Central, dropped it by 1. They were on the road at Central earlier in the week on Tuesday, I believe it was, 53-54 your final score, but they are above average, above the halfway mark too. 12 wins, 7 losses. They're even in regional play and also even in district action as well with 2 wins and 2 losses, and they're also on the road tonight. The boys from Paintsville traveling to Wolfe County. That tip-off should have already tipped off. Paintsville and the Lady Tigers win by 30 over Pike Central, 73-43 your final score as they were hosting Pike Central on Tuesday. And that puts them at Sheldon Clark tonight on the road at 7:30. The Lady Tigers are 2 above average, or even, at 9-7, and they're 1 win up on district play at 2 wins and 1 loss for the district thus far. A little more than halfway through the season, which is where a lot of teams are standing. And to Coach Perry and his Cougars, they dropped 1 to Elliott County by 1 in the 16th Region All-A Tournament. And that comes after 2 wins in other round action. But when it came to Elliott County, they lost 1, and it's one of very few losses. 11-5 on the season thus far. Now they've had a hard way to go in district play, though, tonight with this season, with 1 win and 4 losses. But nevertheless, they're hosting the Hornets of McGoffin County tonight at 7:30. That could be a good one. And the Lady Cougars have had a tough go of it this year. 2-14 on the season. Comes after another loss, this one at the hands of Bath County. 27-59, your final score. 1-4 in district play with that 1 district win. And they're hosting tonight Jackson City. No, hosting Jackson City tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. And that's your 4-minute wrap-up for high school basketball in the area. Now let's wrap up this evening's show with a look outside. And as we can see, radar images indicate, and corroborate what I can hear with traffic going by the studio to the sound of rain on the roadways. We are still in the green, and we're still awaiting a bit of a changeover, and we're still, if you're watching the early show, possibly a few hours away from that happening. Right now, we've got a lot of rainfall out there, but we've got a snow coming, a changeover to snow coming with a little quick mix in between. I'm still thinking it's going to be after 11, between 11 and 3. We'll see a combination of rain and snow. Then maybe after 3, temperatures should get down to below freezing at a nighttime low of 30. That's when we'll see snow. We're talking about still less than a ½ inch possible. A little slush on some bridges, overpasses, and walkways and things of that nature. It will certainly dictate a little caution for everyone traveling this evening, but in the grand scheme of things, it's on the lighter side of winter weather for Kentucky this time of year. And certainly by comparison as to what we had already endured last year by this time, several snowfalls and several snow days, weeks worth actually. But we might get caught up with that. We might not. It's certainly going to pick up, I think, in a little more intensity to the tune of last year. Hard to say, obviously. That low of 30 degrees tonight is going to come after we peaked at 40 earlier today here at the newsroom. And if you're catching the early show, I'm at 35 and holding. So we're going to have temperatures there just above freezing for the next several hours, and that will dictate rain and not mix or snow for at least the foreseeable future until later on tonight. Don't be surprised if you see a little snow on the back end tomorrow of all this, maybe some snow likely up until about 10. We'll see gradually becoming mostly sunny skies after clouds in the morning. We'll see some sunshine, temperatures right around 41, and just mostly cloudy skies tomorrow night, a low of 31. Sunday, it's not the same system, obviously, but another chance of some snow showers. Right now, Sunday morning before 10 a.m., chance of snow. We'll get above freezing with a daytime high of 47, then maybe some rain in the middle, and maybe precipitation hanging around long enough Sunday to where we see it change back over to snow Sunday night with a temperature right at the freezing mark. It's going to be a threshold and a hard call. Monday of next week, we've got more rain, more snow in the forecast. Not a heavy precipitation maker, but definitely a winter weather system. 37, cloudy skies, chance of rain, chance of snow Monday. Tuesday of next week, not so much, only a 20% chance of some snow showers early, but definitely colder. 34, 21 for daytime highs under mostly cloudy skies on your Tuesday. Wednesday, we'll see the sun return, but the 30s will also return with it. 36, 7, 8 degrees, I think, on your Wednesday right now. And then by Thursday of next week, more precipitation in your forecast. It's not going away. Wouldn't expect it to, really, this time of year. We've been pretty fortunate thus far. I'll hope to see you back here Monday for more of your news today. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your weekend. Keep an eye on the weather. Be safe if you're traveling out there tonight. And as always, let us know if you see news happening, and be sure to let our sponsors know that you're watching. Thank you all for being a part of the program, and have a good night.